My meh slash whatever experience with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Let's get it. Can't believe I'm talking about this one. Alright. So, this video already is going to be pretty subjective. And I know that. This video is about to be insane. This video is about to be wild. So, the reason why I say this game to me is meh slash whatever is because there's things I do like, but there's a lot of things I dislike, right? And I remember, you guys remember, if you guys watched my Sparking Zero video I made when the game first dropped, you know, around that time, I want to talk about, like, the hype era and stuff, like, and then I want to get to, like, later on, right, when I started playing and stuff, because I don't want to just get right into the meat and potatoes. I need to build this shit up a little bit. So, I remember when Dragon Ball Sparking Zero was first announced, and we're going back to BT3, you know, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, you know, and I remember that was a really exciting moment, you know, for every Dragon Ball fan. We're actually going back to one of the OG Dragon Ball fighting games, you know, one of the games me and my brother grew up with, you know. I even made a video on Budokai Tenkaichi 3, my experience on that, so you guys know that that is a fun game. I enjoyed the gameplay in that game, even though I've only played it with Lubit, like, maybe a fourth of the time, and he was the one that mainly stuck around for it and stuff. Like I said, Dragon Ball games and me, we just never really clicked all that much, you know? Like, and it even goes to, like, modern day Dragon Ball games. We, like, never click. But, what is it? I was excited for Lubit. I was excited for Chris. I was excited for, like, everyone around me because everyone was excited for it. So I was excited for, you know, people to get their newest Dragon Ball game. 10? I don't know what that means, but I really like Sparking Zero, to be honest. And that's fine. Not gonna try and argue why you shouldn't like it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna let everyone obviously have their own take. But as long as you respect my take, then then we're straight, you know. You don't have to agree with it, just see where I'm coming from a little bit. So yeah, but anyway, so I saw the hype surrounding it. I thought it was really cool. You know, that we're getting a new Dragon Ball game that isn't Xenoverse 3. I was like, dude, anything over Xenoverse 3, I think would have been, like, a really good idea. And I thought it was a good idea for Bandai and them to return to their roots and do a follow-up on, you know, Tenkaichi, you know, and not call it Budokai Tenkaichi anymore, just call it, like, Sparking Zero, kind of like how it was in the Japanese games. Because in Japan, you know, the Budokai Tenkaichi games over there are called Dragon Ball Sparking, so that's why it's called Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, for anyone that didn't know that already. But anyway, so yeah, so when the game first came out, I remember Louis was so excited, Ronnie was so excited, he did a stream on his channel, excuse me, I did a stream on mine, and obviously the Grade 8 Vegeta fight, that shit sucked. I didn't like how the game controls. I remember I really disliked how the game controls right out the gate. Since I'm used to playing anything but a Dragon Ball game, so it's like the controls were really making me feel a sort of way at first, because obviously I am not used to them, you know, so of course I'm going to feel a certain way about them. And I remember it took me a really long time to get used to them. I think out of every game I played, like, that year when it came out, back in 2024, that game took me the longest to adjust to, in comparison to every other game I even played, I think. And I remember, like, Louis and Chris, they kept hyping it up, they kept geeking about it, they were having their Dragon Ball moment, and I'm like, damn, I must be really old because I'm not enjoying this as much as they are or something, or I must feel really out of tune or out of place because I'm not enjoying this as much as these guys are. You know, as much as Louis and Chris, and keep in mind, I really love Dragon Ball, as you guys can tell as well. I've made tons of videos on it, character discussions and whatnot, and my experiences on the Dragon Ball shows. So it's like, I have talked about Dragon Ball multiple times. So why am I not going ballistic, batshit crazy over Sparking Zero like, like Louis and Chris are on a regular, talking about it, playing it, and whatever. I don't know, man. It's like when I have that first feeling with the game, and obviously I know I'm making this video right after I've already made the shit, but you guys can even tell, even in that video, how I feel about the game, like just watching me play and not being very good at it. I don't know. I just didn't give a fuck. I mean, I just didn't care, And obviously it's because, like, my feelings towards Dragon Ball games aren't really as heavy, or I don't really have a strong connection to Dragon Ball games. I do have a heavy connection with the show, and obviously Zekai for many reasons. And I've watched it over the years for multiple times. It's just that, like I said, like Sparking Zero's gameplay, it's good, but there's a lot of problems. Like, for example, like vanishing online is really horseshit. I remember I felt that way. Nick felt that way. I don't know, just playing the game, just beating up your opponents. I mean, that's fine, but I don't know, man. Just something about it in my mind just screams at me like, dude, why are you bothering with this? And keep this in mind. I think another reason why I don't really care about Sparking Zero all that much is because of how I feel about fighting games in general, and obviously games that pressure me or stress me out in some way. It's like, I don't know. And especially I don't like it when I fight Chris like all the time, which is why I stay extremely far away from these things. It's because I just don't like the idea of doing it. I don't like getting I don't like feeling the pressure. I don't like the pressure of fighting games. I don't like getting toxic. I don't like my energy changing, and it's like a combination of all sorts of shit, all sorts of feelings, and why I don't like playing a lot of fighting games or getting back into them. I like my platformers. I like my third-person shooters or first-person shooters, aka Metroid Prime and Doom. I like what I do and my God of Wars and Crash Bandicoots and all that other sort of stuff. I really like all that shit, but it's like, in comparison to that, I feel like Sparking Zero really had no chance. And I've given it multiple times to change my mind and fix my opinion and all that other sort of stuff. And for a long time, I felt like I was definitely the only one that really did not give a fuck about the game. And obviously I didn't give a fuck when it was good, so that should tell you something. But, about how I feel about the game, Sparking Zero and shit, and the story mode, I could barely get into that, and it's like, I don't know, I can't really play this game outside of, like, just maybe tussling with Chris every now and again. Like, that's the only reason I even come back to this game on a regular basis, even though I don't like it myself getting into it. 9 times out of 10, getting into the whole idea of fighting, online and the pressure of it and all that stuff, that's the only reason I get on sometimes, is just to box it up with Chris, because other than Chris, I don't really box it up, anymore. I do my best to kind of stay away from that, because like I said, my energy goes a completely different way, and I see that, and, and I even agree with Nick, when I fought Nick, if you remember, he was getting mad at me for beating his ass in Sparking Zero all the time, and talking about I was tryharding, and I'm like, I'm not tryharding, this is just how I am at the game, and I'm not even all that good, keep in mind. So it's like, what the fuck, on that front. And I think that's another reason why I stopped playing too, was because, like, my energy, like, my toxic energy, like, would come out. And I remember Chris was telling me that, like, midstream when we were fighting. He was like, guys, he loves getting me mad at stuff, y'all. And I'm like, he loves getting me somewhat triggered whenever we do these things. And I'm like, then why do these things with me in the first place? Or why did I even bother? I should have just stayed away from this shit. And that's why I, like, exactly, like, from that moment on, it's like the realization kicked back in why I got away from this game. When me and Chris fought online and stuff, it was, like I said, my energy, my feelings, and it's like, now I see why I didn't give a fuck about the game, because I wanted to stay clear from that shit. Fighting games are just not me, 2D or 3D, I mean, look what happened with Smash Ultimate, I broke that bitch due to pure pressure and, toxicity from online. And it's like, do I really want to be like those fuckers? And it's even worse over. I would argue it's probably just as bad, if not worse, over here. Because I remember for the online scene before all the patches came in, people would be like the Sparking Zero community. If you're a good player, you had some form of toxicity behind you. You know, whenever you go online trying to fight people, like when day one happened, it was fine. Everyone was mutual. But like I swear, like as the days and months of this game's release gone by, it's like the community of Sparking Zero just continuously gets more and more toxic. And toxic and toxic and toxic, where it's like, I can go behind you at, you know, ow, fuck, keep hitting my hands and stuff. I can go like max limit or whatever the fucking boost is, go behind you, rapid punch you from your backside, key blast spam you, and then at the very end of that key blast spam you to get rapid damage, I can fire off my ultimate and just win the game that way in such a cheap fashion. And, you know, I remember looking at YouTube one day when I didn't give a fuck about Sparking Zero. I was just living my life. And now there's other people talking about the same points and why I didn't like the game, you know, or similar points, or in-game mechanic points of why they didn't like the game. And it's like, wow, people are actually not liking Sparking Zero because of the toxicity, because of the energy this game emits from people, you know, and why people don't want to play it anymore. I remember when I heard that Sparking Zero on Steam lost 99% of its player base because of that exact shit. And I'm sitting there like, damn. I know it's not the same reasons we have for disliking the game, you know, but if you got that many players from just one side of it leaving because of the fact that shitty, like unbalanced roster, or fucking characters with certain mechanics like instant sparking, you know what I mean? That just puts a button and they're instantly in spark and they can come up to you and do that cheap ass combo shit I mentioned earlier. Alex, what's going on? That's my name too, funny enough. But it's like, damn, all these problems that Sparking Zero has, and then the story mode feels half-baked sometimes here or there with certain characters like Vegeta, you know, certain scenarios, like, certain stories are cool, but others are like, haha, you don't know me anymore, lol. It has been a long time since I've seen you, so maybe it has been a minute. If I do not know you anymore, if I don't know you, then my bad, bro. My bad for forgetting, but it's just been a long time. And my brain usually works if I see you on a consistent level, I'll remember, like Surap. Welcome to stream, by the way. That we're talking about Sparking Zero over here, for anyone wondering. But, like I said, it's like, yeah, I used to use your old PFP. Oh my god, that's right, bro. You did. Now I'm remembering. You really did. How you doing, man? Gaming with Alex, bro. But, how you been, man? You been good? Man, fuck this Sparking Zero shit. You know, how you doing? Very good. I'm glad you're doing very good. You? I'm doing good myself. You know, I'm learning how to manage myself a lot better and all that. So, yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Like, manage my emotions and stuff. But back to what I was saying on Sparking Zero, right? And why I stay away from it. And why I don't play like everyone else. And yes, I did play it recently. But I think, like I said, after this time period, after that session I had with Chris, I think that might be it for me fully. Because I got back on because Chris wanted to do something on there. He said, yo, let's go do something. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. Since I don't want to just see you play alone, I'll play with you. I'll deal with this game with you. I didn't tell him that, but this is what I felt like in my head. Okay, I'll deal with this game with you because there's new shit out for you. And I don't want you just going online and just fighting computers the whole fucking time. I want your side of the stream to be fucking fun. So, I decided to get on because of that. But I didn't tell him that. I know he's probably going to call me a dickhead for that or whatever, but it is what it is. You know? But, well, I mean, he did call me a dickhead, too, because I was simultaneously streaming with him. But, and no one told him that I was simultaneously streaming with him. So, that was kind of funny, but you get it. Like, the Gohan Beast, Orange Piccolo, I don't care for those characters. Y'all know that. So, I only did it because Chris wanted to do it, Chris wanted to come back, so I'll manage because of that's the whole reason I came back to Sparking Zero. Other than that, I do not care for the game. I do not care for the game, and I know there's a skill curve and a learning level to the game. I just didn't care. I couldn't care about the skill level or the cap ceiling or whatever. Like, as soon as I saw what this game truly was, like an arena fighter, just like the old days, but like with better graphics or whatever, I don't know. It makes me kind of want to go back to Tenkaichi 3 and kind of play that one instead so I can get used to the whole idea of maybe giving a fuck about Dragon Ball games. You know, or who knows, maybe my brain will just keep telling me not to give a fuck about Dragon Ball games. You're good, because a lot of them aren't really all that, to be honest. A lot of Dragon Ball games aren't all that. I mean, Fighters was fun. I mean, it's fun for a base game. But anyways, what are you crashing out about? Not crashing out, just talking about it. Have you ever played Mario Kart? Yes, I have played Mario Kart. That is a fun game. No, I don't play it too much because I prefer Mario platformers and other games in comparison. But whenever I do get on it, it's like, let's have some fun. Let's play some Mario Kart, all that other sort of shit, yeah. But, anyways, I think that's it. I think that's like my feelings on Sparking Zero. Don't get me wrong, it's good for anybody that wants to. Oh, your name is pronounced Sheriff? Sheriff? Okay, I'll say that from now on, Sheriff. Falcon, Tayson, what's going on, bro? Nothing much, just straight chilling, talking about Sparking Zero, but because I don't want to make this one too long, since I already made one that was just as long about Samurai Jack Season 3 and how I'm actually back watching the shit. But, I think that's, like, all my feelings. Like, I don't know, just since day one, it's like, I just didn't care to really play this game or get super extremely good at it. I was only really playing it / being in it because, people around me were in it, and it was the hot shit and whatever, and I don't usually follow trends. I feel like I get easily out of place when I follow trends that people like to go down. That's why I don't like playing games with my friends most of the time, because it's the hot trend to do that nowadays whenever you play a video game. Whatever happened to playing a video game because you personally want to play it? You personally want to invest time into it to beginning, middle, and end. I have a really old school mentality when it comes to video games and stuff, and I just didn't feel it with this one, with Sparking Zero. Like, I get it, they made it because they wanted to make a new version of Tenkaichi, but I'm not gonna lie, in some aspects it kind of failed in some ways, in my eyes, to be like the next, like, Tenkaichi or whatever the fuck. I know I was gonna make this video with Ronnie and Lubit, but, I don't know. I just kind of decided just to make it, kind of talk about my thoughts, and honestly, Louie and Chris could tell you, like, how good the game is and stuff, truly how good it is from the bottom of their hearts and shit, and say, man, this game's great. I mean, like I said, and I didn't mention this, but I kind of forgot about it until now, but I'm going to tell you what is good about the game, other than my thoughts, right? I do like all the models. All the models for the game look great. The music is okay. I don't really listen to it when fighting all that much, but I hear it sometimes. I think it's okay. Voice acting for certain characters is really good. Obviously, I like Goku Black's voice, and all that other sort of stuff. even though Sean Schimmel's a person's kind of shaky. But I won't really, let that stop me from talking about what I want to talk about. Even though, yes, I know Johnny Young Bosch has gotten way better at voicing Broly as time moved along. Yeah, him voicing both, that is not a reality that is not a reality I still have, like, settled into yet. Like, there's still some things holding me back. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, and I know a lot of people may not know this, but, nah, man, look, I'm gonna put him on for a little bit. But, I don't know, to me, I don't know, Z Broly was just so fucking raw. I don't know, it might just be my nostalgia talking, but just watch him beat up, versus the Z Warriors, man. Hold on, I'm about to pull it up because of that. I know there's a Sparking Zero video, but oh god, I can't even spell right now. Like, bro, this man cooked everybody in the roster, bro.
If you had just let me kill you all before, you wouldn't be dealing with this pain now. Your own complete and utter waste of Saiyan blood.
That was Vic Mignogna's Broly. Alright? And like I said, again, some rules, like I said, Z Broly, I'm gonna be real, I don't care that Super Broly isn't voiced by him anymore, but it still feels wrong to me that Z Broly is being voiced by Johnny. And I know Vic gave him the role already, but to me, it's like, that's just always gonna be the voice I hear. Maybe if I grew up in a different time, I would be hearing Johnny and I wouldn't give much of a fuck. But because I grew up in the time that I did, and I watched it at the time that I did, I still feel that Z Broly's voice is still going to be pretty imperfect, right? But voice acting aside, right? I thought that was okay. The other modes in this game, other than, like, online matchmaking and shit, I felt like are just, like, the custom battles kind of on some Mario Maker 2 shit. I felt like was kind of crappy, maybe bare bones. I don't know. I didn't see the fun in the other modes. And again, I also know by the time of this video, Gohan Beast, Piccolo, Gohan Beast, Piccolo and their variants as separate characters, quote unquote. And the Gammas and Cell Max came out, right? I don't care about any of them, obviously, because I obviously do not care about superhero as a movie. So therefore, why should I care about the characters? Sure, I'm gonna use them, but I'm gonna use them in more of like I'm gonna fuck around type mood to make my mood just kind of funnier than actually like give a fuck about the. Like I said, Dragon Ball has gone a route that me 9 times out of 10 is just completely tuning out for. But that's just me. But again, like I said, I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be. My experience with Sparking Zero, it's an experience I really do not care to go back to. It's like the meh / whatever feeling like my experience. Honestly, I think I had more time playing Super Mario 64 ROM hacks than I did Sparking Zero to some degree. Funny enough, but I mean, I don't want to undermine the fun that Sparking Zero did give me. I feel like I am doing that, you know? When me and Chris fought in Sparking Zero, that shit was fun, you know? We were laughing, we were having a good time, missing our moves, or screaming because one of us got hit by a move, or vice versa, or whatever. That shit was fun, you know? It kind of brought me back to the days of Storm 4, you know, when Rasengans were being thrown, and Chidoris, and Windstar Rasen Shurikens, or whatever the fuck, you know? That shit was being thrown. That was fun. But other than all that other stuff, you know, other than me and Chris boxing sometimes, and other than me feeling the pressure, it was somewhat fun fighting Chris on the game. But everything else was just either mediocre to me or just kind of fucking boring, you know? Other than the hype for it, that was kind of cool, you know, being hyped for a new Dragon Ball game that isn't Xenoverse, you know, that was cool. You know, living in an era where it was Not like that. But anyways, Boxer, hey, how you doing? But anyways, I digress. I'm done. That's my experience with Sparking Zero. Nothing else to be said. Let me know your guys' feelings towards Dragon Ball Sparking Zero if you guys ever played it. Down below in the comments when this YouTube live goes up. You know, just let me know in that comment section. Like, I actually really like Sparking Zero. You're wrong, but let's talk about it. You know, let's have a conversation if you want to. But anyways, until then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next My Experience video. Peace. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do all day today. I think I'm just gonna log into BBS, watch some Samurai Jack, get in some more. By the way, Lord Dracon, welcome to stream as well. But also goodbye to stream as well. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I wanted to make this My Experience Sparking Zero video because I haven't done it yet, and fuck it, let's just make it, get it out of the way, you know?